All right, let's get into this review here. All right. So, our first review of the day is going to be for a film called Power Ballad. Power Ballad is a movie here directed by Joe Carney there. Joe Carney, who's done big movies there. He did that movie there, Once Begin Again. And also, I think his most notable hit is Sing Street there, which got a lot of praise. I think it was nominated at the Golden Globes there for Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy there. I don't think it wasn't. Was it nominated for any Oscars? I don't think so.
It was kind of like a movie that flew under the radar, because 2016, that was like the year of La La Land and Moonlight, excuse me.
Okay, but he does a lot of movies about music and about songs and everything like that. Is the director, is he himself like a musician, Joe Carney?
Yeah, I think. I'm not sure. I think he was, or at least he has like a big passion for music, because
definitely for songwriting.
Yeah. So in this movie, in Power Ballad, you have Paul Rudd, who's in a cover band there. They playing wedding gigs there, and he had dreams of being bigger there. There's like an interview like he finds on his computer from like way back when he was just starting out, and he said like, "Well, my dream is to play in Madison Square Garden in front of thousands of fans, but life didn't really turn out like that." And he, had a wife and kids, and now he's kind of settled down now. But while playing at a gig there at a wedding, he runs into a former boy band star there who's played by Nick Jonas there, who his career is kind of on the downslope. Like after he's gone from his boy band now, all the other members, they went on to bigger success, and he's kind of stuck. He kind of can't move on from that. And he's trying to find his next big thing, his next big hit. And then while they're after the wedding, you see that they're kind of in the session. Rick and Danny, who's the Nick Jonas character there, they're jamming. They're having a jamming session. They're playing songs for each other. They're going back and forth, doing some recommendations. Like, oh, maybe we should do this with the song. Maybe we should do that with the song. Paul Rudd's talking to him about songs that he's written and done. And then all of a sudden there, after the whole session's done, we see that 6 months later, Paul Rudd, who's just randomly in the mall one day, hears a song playing. He goes like, wait a second, I know that song. He's like, wait, and he comes back home, searches the song, goes like, wait, that's my fucking song. I did that song. And it's kind of a journey of kind of like, is he going to get the credit for this song that this guy stole from him? Is he going to get the credit? Is he going to get the money for it there? And then in the pursuit for him to get all of this, it's kind of damaging and ruining other elements of his life, his friendship, his personal relationships, and everything like that. In the pursuit to get this credit of like a once in a lifetime credit for this big song, which they say in this movie is blowing up. It's become a huge hit. It's, everybody can't stop singing it. And then typically with movies about songs or about musicians, it's like sometimes it's kind of tough to go like, oh, this is the big song that's sweeping the world. And you actually hear it and it's like, oh, I guess, maybe. And then this song is because you hear it a lot in the movie. And it plays quite a bit. And I don't know, maybe it's because I was hearing it so much. I was like, oh, this song is not all that, but I don't know. Whatever. It's a movie. Yeah. So Nick, what's your thoughts, man, on Power Ballad?
So Power Ballad, with John Carney, all of his movies have this like core about what music means to people, what it can do for people, the like joy and the passion behind the craft of songwriting, and that comes across in spades here. The chemistry between Paul Rudd and Nick Jonas, this is probably some of the best acting I've seen from Jonas in like such a long time. I know he kind of gets the like boy band pretty boy label he just casts just to like Mew, but I really liked his performance in here, and kind of the line he dances of when we first meet him. He's like the cool dude. He's like has great chemistry with Paul Rudd in their like jam session. And like as he gets more of that fame he was chasing, you see him become more of an asshole.
What about you, Neal?
So I have loved every movie that John Carney has done. Once and Sing Street in particular are personal favorites of mine. And I think this movie is wonderful. I think this is, you touched on how good Nick Jonas is. I think this is Paul Rudd's best acting performance I've ever seen him do. It's really just a heartwarming movie and really touching at points. And I think this strikes really all the perfect notes as far as like being a movie about music and the importance of song and artistry, and also reconciling, how your life, the directions your life goes in, and how it may disappoint you. But I think this movie is just outstanding on every level.
Uh, yeah, it's interesting to see with this kind of character there because trying to grapple with this and trying to fight back. I mean, of course,
Mhm.
he goes to lawyers and goes like, "Well, is there anything I can do?" And
Well,
they tell him,
do you have any proof that you wrote the song? Like,
you know,
a video, like a recording, a demo of it? And it's like, no, well, you're kind of screwed.
yeah, it's kind of you're shit out of luck, kind of like we can't really help you there. And and yeah, like I said, it's ruining all his life. They're ruining his relation with his friends. He's in this cover band, and it leads to like a big outburst and everything like that. When he's playing, they ask him to request to play the song.
Mhm.
That's kind of a good moment, a funny moment. And Paul Rudd, I haven't seen him do a lot of dramatic stuff, really.
Mhm.
Paul Rudd, I mean, mostly he's just always the affable kind of good guy, likable kind of guy. Most stuff he's in there, and here he really is very kind of at points very unlikable, and
Mhm.
kind of like his behavior and kind of how
Yeah,
he does there.
but it's never unlikable in a way where you don't understand.
Mm. True. I mean, you do.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody, if that was you, you go like, this person
Yeah, it's like,
stole it.
okay, it's like you're kind of in the wrong, but I get it.
Yeah.
Right.
And at first he's kind of thinking like, well, maybe it's just like a misunderstanding.
Mhm.
I'll just
Yeah,
call him.
it's
Let's
like if I
settle this.
talk to the guy, maybe we can, work something out. But he hides behind his agent, who's played by Jack Rayner, who worked with Carney before on Sing Street.
Hmm.
Oh, cool. There. Is Jack Raymond? Is he Irish or?
Yeah, he's natural born Irish.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay.
But the best thing about all these performances in this movie in general, to me at least, is just how believable everyone felt.
Mhm.
It felt, everyone just, it's not super flashy in terms of its
Mhm.
acting or the characters that they're playing, but it all feels extremely like believable and natural. Like even Nick Jonas, you understand his motivations for doing some pretty scummy stuff, but I felt like there was enough nuance to that character to be really interesting. And same with Peter McDonald, who plays another bandmate of Paul Rudd that gets more to do later on in the movie, and Beth Fallon, who plays his daughter. I thought just really brought natural charisma and believability to this whole scenario.
Yeah, and you do feel bad for the guy because I mean, the guy, like, I
Mhm.
mean, he's trying to tell everybody like there's a scene where he tells his, he's trying to tell his wife and daughter like this is my song, this is what I did. It's like you
Mhm.
remember I played it for you, and they go like,
Mhm.
and like what, like
Um,
no, like what were you
it,
doing
it's
again?
it's like in that realistic way where your dad has this passion, but it's like your dad. It's not as cool.
Yeah. And here's actually the clip right here. And I'll play a little bit of it of when he's kind of saying, "Hey, this is my song here."
Well, it's lovely. Why are we listening to it?
You don't recognize it?
Should I?
Of course, yes, you should. That's my fucking chorus. I've sung it for you. You don't remember?
When?
Well, I mean, it would have been.
Well, I don't remember that. A lot of music gets played around here. You couldn't remember the half of it.
Look at that. It's already up to 2 million views. Thing just came out yesterday. I like what he did with it. It's pretty good.
Are we gonna be rich?
Huh?
Yeah. So I mean, he's like, he's seeing them dollar signs, man. He's like, oh shit, this could be good, man. It's money. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy because, like you said, like they just kind of don't even really believe him, and he seems like he's going crazy. He's like, am I being fucking gaslit right here? Like, what the fuck is happening?
Right.
It's like a very justified crash out, but one that's entertaining to watch nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole movie is like the most sympathetic crash out you've ever seen, basically.
Yeah. And you mentioned a best friend that everybody wishes they had. So you have Peter McDonald there. That's a stereotypical Irish name right there, McDonald right there. And then he plays Shandy there, who's the guitarist for the band, the cover band there, and he's basically like the best friend, I guess, of the Paul Rudd character. He's like he always sticks through him thick and thin, always has his back, even to maybe an annoying point in a certain point where it's just like maybe he's too much of a hanger on. But he's just a good friend, man. He's always there for him, always has his back, always up for whatever he plans to do. There's even something where they go because Nick Jonas is having like a tour. And I think he was like, and I thought, okay, he's having a tour, but damn, how many songs he got? Like, okay, he got this one song. I guess he must have a lot of songs from his boy band days because if he's doing a tour. But okay, but they're gonna be in like LA, and he's like, okay, this is the perfect chance. We can go to LA. Then he's like, sure, I'm down. Yeah, whatever. He just books a plane ticket, goes with him, drops everything he's doing. But I think the guy, we see a little bit of his life. Like he ain't got much going on. He lives with his mom, or maybe his mom. It seems like maybe his mom lives with him. Yeah, his mom lives with him because his mom seems like she has like maybe a disability or a condition or something. So maybe his mom lives with him.
Well, the best part about that character is like later on in the movie, not to get too into the weeds of it, but like there's a scene where he could be very distracted, where he is given an opportunity to be very distracted and not be on point on the mission, and he just decides to lock in so much. And I don't know.
It's like that conversation of like, what do you get into playing music for? Do you do it for the love of music, or do you do it for the side benefits of it?
Right. And I just thought that was a really funny and great scene in general.
Yeah. Yeah. So I liked it. I mean, I don't know if you guys wanted to do a quick spoiler talk on after we give our rating it to explain why you're wrong in detail. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie there. I liked it. I thought it was kind of a fun outing. This is my first John Carney movie there. I haven't seen his other work there. Did you guys see his other work like Sing Street or Once Begin Again?
Yes. I've seen Begin Again and Sing Street. I haven't watched Once.
Okay, gotcha. What about you there, Neal? You say
I have seen Once and Sing Street. Both are 5 out of 5 movies.
Okay, very cool there. Yeah, I thought it was a decent outing from him. So for me, I would give it a tune in there. What about you there, Nick?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything that I, have to criticize about this, but it's just effortlessly charming. The chemistry between the whole cast, it's some of the best like naturalistic performances that we've seen from like this whole cast. We talk a lot about actors and how we often joke that the entire like best actor like clips, it's all the just people shouting and getting like very emotional, and that doesn't really happen in here, but it feels natural in a way. And Carney, he doesn't really go for a lot of flash with his cinematography or anything like that, but it all feels like very grounded. And even when we get to like the songs in it, all of it is like very well written music. I gotta give this like a very strong tune in.
Okay.
I don't think it's as good as like Sing Street or Begin Again, but I still liked this.
What about you there, Neal?
I think this movie is just like you said, effortlessly charming and just extremely uplifting and kind of wonderful. Honestly, I loved all the performances. I think all the music in this is extremely well made and really listenable. And I think its ultimate themes are really relatable, heartfelt, and just extremely unique. Honestly, I think this is one of my favorite movies of the year, right up there with Project Hail Mary and 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. I think this movie is just outstanding. This is cinema for me. I love it.
Oh, wow. This is cinema. Damn.
Oh, high praise.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, this movie is fantastic.
Wow. Okay. Wow. High praise. So I give it a tune in. Nick gives it a strong tune in, and Neal gives it a this is cinema. Awesome stuff.
Yep.
Okay, so why what's preventing me from giving it maybe a strong tune in or higher is the ending. The issue with the ending I have. So if people don't want to know what the spoiler is, anything like that, tune out and then come back in for a little bit there if you care that much about Power Ballad or whatever. But so like we said, he's crashing out about the song. Paul Rudd is. He wants the credit for it. He wants the money for the song, ruining his life, his relationships. where he gets kicked out of the band because he starts a fight with one of the band members because at the wedding, one of the bridesmaid, not the bridesmaid, I'm sorry, the bride, or groom, I guess. I don't know how that dynamic works, but it's a lesbian wedding. And she asked him to play that song, and he goes like, "No, I'm not playing that song." And then they have a big fight, and then he just goes like, "I quit," whatever. And he says, "You're fired." And then so now that's when they go to LA. He goes like, "I got to confront Nick Jonas face to face and ask him." And then at this point, it's not even really about the money or about the credit. It's just about he just wants to see him and look him in the eyes and go like, did I write that song? Yes or no? Like, did I help you write that song? It's just, he just wants to know for his own sanity.
Yeah, it's less about the credit or the recognition. It's more just talking to him man to man and getting him to admit, yes, I could not have made this song without you.
Right.
Yeah. And then we see that Nick Jonas in the movie, kind of, we see him before where he's kind of like, oh, I don't know, maybe should we just give him some money?
Like he floats the idea of like, what if we just cut the guy a check?
Cut him a little check, whatever, which I think maybe that would have been the best thing. You just cut him a little quick little, maybe couple mil, whatever. So he would just shut up and then not come back anymore. But, he basically tasked, like you said, Jack Rayner, who's his agent in it, to kind of go like, he shuts him down and kind of goes like, well, you got no case, fuck you, whatever, you can't come after us for the song. But that's when we mentioned that Paul Rudd's character and his friend Shandy go to LA and go to the house party that he's doing there while he's there. And also fuck Nick Jonas for cheating on
Hannah Rose Lou.
It's like, that's the moment where it's like a montage of like the success the song brings him, and it's like a little flash that they broke up. It was like, all right, fuck this guy.
Fuck him. Yeah. So yeah, he goes there and then he approaches him about it and they have like a fight that, he spills over and everything like that. Like at first, he's naked in a hot tub and then he like jumps over the thing and whatever. And then the banister. And I don't even know where he got clothes from. Like all of a sudden he had like a hoodie on or whatever. I don't know where he got that from. But yeah. And then he's trying to get him to just basically admit that he stole the song or he helped him write it, just man to man. He kind of does a little bit in a way, and then he kind of comes back empty-handed because he goes back to Ireland.
Yeah, it's less about that and more, it's revealed the real inspiration for the song because Danny, he sees it as a love song, which, you listen to the lyrics and yeah, it sounds very romantic, but what the song is about, it's about Rick's daughter and when she was born and like him worried that if he left her he wouldn't be able to write a song again.
Yeah, that when that whole thing happened, is like that was when so much of the movie clicked for me. Like, okay, this is why this is working so well for me. It's because like part of his issue with him stealing the song is that like in a sense he's almost stealing like the emotions that come with it, because like when he says like it's not a love song and he's like so angry about it, you could tell like that's part of why he's so agitated about this whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, good point that he reveals like the actual true meaning of the song and what it's all about. Then he goes back to Ireland and then to his wife, who they had like a big fight, and then before he left.
Well, because like before, like when they're like driving home from dinner, the song comes on the radio, and like his daughter is messing with him a little bit, and like turns it up and starts singing along, and he crashes out and crashes their car.
Right. Yeah. Probably not a great way to kind of get people on your side about an argument, but sure.
Yeah, like he ends up breaking her arm with the ex because they had like a rollover. And yeah, and he's like, man, I could have, and then they have like a big fight after that. He's like, man, I could have been something if I wasn't married, if I didn't have a kid. I mean, I could have been, fuck it, I could have been a huge star. I could have been writing songs, whatever. And then so it's like a big thing there. So that's, yeah, so they ended on like a big fight before he left to LA. But when he comes back, she says, well, did you get what you wanted? And he kind of just goes like, no, not really. I mean, whatever, but it's whatever. And, I just got to move on, whatever happened. And I got a beautiful thing. I got, you and I got her. and I just kind of move on. And he reconciles with his band, and he rejoins them. And then they have to like start their way back up again because of what happened with that fight. Now they've, I guess, been blacklisted of being like a shitty band, obviously ruining a weddings. So they have to like start at like a lame ass like Dungeons and Dragons Chuck E. Cheese or some shit. Something like that.
As you do, yeah.
So that's where they have to start like all the way back from the bottom again to go all the way back up. So then, you see that. But then when they're doing that, you see that his daughter goes into his music room and then starts like messing with his computer. And then she's just opening files on there and looks at like some old files with her as a baby. And then she finds the song because before in the movie, he had been looking through his whole computer going like, where did I put it? Where did I, maybe I stored it somewhere. And so she found the song and him singing it to her when she was a baby. And then that's when she goes, Mom, and then it cuts.
Yeah, but all of that is like, it's this very well done, like intercutting between Rick and his band playing at this like small rinky dink wedding and Danny playing at Madison Square Garden. And both of them are, performing the song. But when it cuts to Nick Jonas, it's Paul Rudd's voice coming out of him.
Oh,
right.
That's a good point. Oh, I didn't know that.
Right, because he literally can't write a song without Paul Rudd.
And then in that moment with Danny, where he's at Madison Square Garden there, it seems like he's about to say like,
it seems like he has a chance to like, give Rick the credit, but he doubles down.
Yeah, he's like,
change
maybe
my life.
And then he just at first Jack Rain's about to have a heart attack. He's like, oh, fuck. He's like, oh, okay, good. But then she finds the song, and so then the next scene is that we see Paul Rudd throw like a fat wad of cash in a guitar case of a street musician. So the implication is that I guess that he got the credit for the song, he got the money, and now he's doing much better in life now. The problem I have with that is like I think it should have cut off sooner. That we didn't know if he discovered the song or not, or there's some ambiguity to it, to play with that more, because I liked more of him just kind of going like just accepting like, hey, listen, whatever, it didn't work out, life, happens, people get fucked over, but I still got a beautiful life, beautiful wife, beautiful kids. I think.
I get that, but I feel like if you cut that scene like a minute earlier, like you don't hear the audio of what his daughter is listening to on the computer. You just see her reaction, and then she's like screaming for like mom.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the kind of movie that John Carney wanted to make. Carney, he doesn't really go for like the downer endings. He wants the audience feeling good and giving Rick that actual proof of his claims and giving him the like happy ending for him, because not much of his life has changed. He still has this beautiful life in Ireland with his wife and his daughter, his great gig with his wedding band. He just has a little more pocket change and the credit he deserves.
Well, I mean, $2 million, a lot of motherfucking pocket change. That's a little more pocket change.
Well, that's actually what I was gonna say, is because like, his station in life, yes, he does have a bit more money. They don't say how much money, but he definitely does have more money. But at the same time,
enough to give that much to a busker.
Right. But at the same time, it's not like it changed him or anything like that. It's not like, oh, by the way, every musician who ever lived is going to want him to write a song for them. It just means that like he hit a grand slam one random time at bat. It doesn't change the fact that he's not, super famous or whatever. And he didn't really achieve his musical dreams in the traditional sense. But, I think that's why, I guess to me, that's why the ending doesn't really contradict what you're saying, even though I respect where you're coming from on it. I just don't necessarily agree with it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I see that. I mean, we don't know exactly like I said, how much money he has, or like you said, if he became like a writer to all these other famous songwriters, whatever. We don't see exactly what happened in the.
And honestly, we don't really need to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think we need to see that. So that was good. With all that. But yeah, I mean, that was just like a small thing I had with it. Like I said, I had a good time with the movie, seeing the movie. you said you've been listening to the songs like on the soundtrack there on your own there. I think it was neither Neal or Nick there. Neal, you think
A
you do?
little
Yeah.
bit, yeah.
Oh yeah, I usually go on walks around my neighborhood most days, and I've been listening to them pretty consistently, on the walk. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're great. I think these would be great, Matchbox 20 type songs or something in that line.
Like the real tragedy is that the movie opens with Paul Rudd at a wedding and his band's playing there, and he plays like a song he wrote when he was touring with his band. It was called Finishing Line, and honestly, that shit was kind of a bop.
Yeah.
That's a legit.
Why wasn't that the banger?
That's a legit, really good song. And then, you realize just how poor of taste people have because nobody's on the dance floor and they only want to dance to like Celebrate or, SOS by the Police and stuff like that.
I get it. Time and place. This is a wedding. They want to hear the hits.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
but they
his
played
band
that
that says they're human jukeboxes.
Yeah. Because they played that at the end in the credits. I was like, well, this seems like a way better song than that, like Without You, or what was the name of that song, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that sounded way better there with that. So yeah. That was our thoughts there on Power Ballad there. Vote in the comments below on which opinion was better. And if you disagree with me, I will delete your comments. There you go. Very good stuff. Very good. But good review there. Thank you.